Good afternoon. It is time for our weekly installment of our Math YouTube video. So this week what we've been working on is we've been working on volume. So the students have been cutting out boxes like this, and then what they've had to do is they've had to fold the boxes to make something like this, and then we would tape the box to come up with a finished product just like this. So you can see that. Then what the students had to do is they had to discover, okay, how am I going to measure to find the volume? As you can see, we close this box. So we can't fit these centimeter cubes in this box and say, okay, well, there are 40 centimeter cubes that fit in this box, so the volume has to be 40 cubic centimeters. So what the students had to do is I just gave them the cubes and said, okay, try to find the volume. So what they would do is they would go ahead and place the cubes right here like this, and just like so, there and here, and they would go like that. And then at the top of the page what they would do is they would write volume equals length times width times height. And they would make sure that that's perfect, and then they would move this out and they would go, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the length is 8. And they would write that down. Then what they would do is they would go ahead and, okay, let's discover how wide it is. So they'd put cubes down just like this, and they would want to make sure that they're precise, that they're in a straight line. So here we go. So there we go, and then they can go ahead and move the box out of the way, and they can say the width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then next what they would do is they'd put the box here just like so, and then they would stack the blocks right on top to see how high the box is, and they would say, okay, that's about 3 centimeters high. Now what they would do is they would go ahead and they would multiply here. So you go 6 times 8 is 48. Then next they would multiply by 3 and say, okay, what is 3 times 48, or 48 times 3? So they would come here and they would say it is 144, and then we would write it down as cubic centimeters. Another way that we could do this is we could also write it down as 144 cubic centimeters using the cube symbol 3 above the centimeters. Now another thing that we told the students is the order of these numbers, 8 times 6 times 3, doesn't matter, because somebody might have had their box standing up here like this, where that meant that it would be 8 cubes high, 6 cubes long, and 3 cubes wide. Or they could have done like this, and then that way it would have been 6 cubes high, 8 cubes wide, and then 3 cubes going long. So it doesn't matter which way we put the box. The box's volume is always going to be 144 cubic centimeters. Next week we are going to be finishing our unit on volume, and we will be moving on to our next unit. So next week we will have a new YouTube video, not on volume, but on something different. So make sure to read your newsletter to find out what that skill is, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.